Hello everyone, welcome to Marketing 716, Marketing Management. This is Chapter 5. In Chapter 5, let's focus on customers, segmentation, and targeting. Okay, segmentation and targeting. Okay. In this chapter, you should be able to learn to understand buyer behaviors in consumer markets, okay? Understand buyer behavior in business markets, and explain the market segmentation approaches, and then able to describe how to identify market segments and describe the target marketing strategies by different type of companies and product categories, right? Let's have an introduction first. When you look at the customers, segments, and target markets, right, we need to understand that what is a market? Okay, a market is a collection of buyers and sellers, right? Buyers and sellers, and now, of course, in marketing, we focus on the buyer. In consumer market, consumer research, and business consumer research, business customer research, we focus on the buyer. Right? Companies can attempt to reach all buyers in the market, all the buyers in the market, right? Or you can try to reach only a smaller group or segments of the market. Okay? Or you can even try to reach specific buyers on an individual level, at the individual level. Yeah, that's possible now. Okay? And companies also must have a comprehensive understanding of the current and potential customers, their motivations, their behaviors, their needs, and their wants, in order to market successfully to them. Okay? Let's look at the example, industry example, social media industry. How do social media companies or websites, businesses are doing their segmentation? Now, one way to do that is to focus on adult segment, adults market, adult segment. For Facebook, for example, they cover on 69% of U.S. adults. 69%. You can see more adult customers as the users of Facebook. On the other hand, excuse me. In contrast, Instagram, they cover only 37% of U.S. adults, right? And it's more popular with women. So you see that a lot of their customers, users, are not adults, but youngsters, young people that we all know. Okay, there is a Generation Z market versus millennial segment. Right? Gen Zs are more likely to make purchases through the app. Okay? Well, baby boomers are not that as likely. Okay? Like Snapchat. Snapchat is used mostly by people aged 25 and below. Snapchat. Personally, I never use that. You can see that. And TikTok, we have seen just this acquisition by U.S. companies from China over the national security issues on TikTok. And that is also often used, more likely used by younger people, Gen Zs and millennials, right? And also there is an information segment, like Twitter or X. Twitter and X, they're more on people, used by people who seek information, news from independent sources. Okay? And for that segment, they spread current events and informations. serving that unique market, seeking information. Okay? This is in social media. Let's talk about the buyer behavior in consumer markets. Consumer markets. Okay. When we all consumers, yeah, everyone on earth, the human world, almost everyone is a consumer, right? It's just some people consume more, some consume less, some consume very minimum amount of supplies or items, whatever. Yeah, they don't need too much of a resource to survive or to prosper. Okay, but when consumers go about buying product and making decisions about buying, they go through stages. So there's so many issues involved in consumer decision making. Just imagine or recall the stages you went through when you purchased your last car, or last house, or maybe last cell phone. Think about the stages, the process you went through when reaching that decision. Right? These are the stages in our consumer decision making. When we make a decision to buy something, first there's a need recognition trigger. You need to have realization. Oh God, gee, I need something, or I need this, or my old phone is not working, or my car breaks down too often, or we need a bigger house, to house a bigger enlarged families. So whatever. So there's a need that needs to be recognized. There's a trigger to that needs recognition. Right? As soon as you have that need recognized, we can consider some brands or some items to fulfill that needs. Right? That's what we call the initial consideration set. Maybe if you want to buy a car, the first brands or first cars that come to mind maybe you may like Lexus or Toyota. The other person may like Honda more. The other may like Ford or Chevy more. Right? So some may prefer domestic-made cars. Some may prefer foreign-made and import cars. Right? So whatever comes to your mind, about either the brands or product makers, manufacturers, companies, that start to pop into your mind is part of your initial consideration set. Okay, and then what do you do next? You evaluate. You evaluate different brands of vehicles, different brands of different houses in different subdivisions, or homes at different levels, or even you go to a soda machine, you evaluate. You felt thirsty, I'm going to go to the vending machine to get something, and then you look at all those things, the bottles, cans in the vending machine. You want to evaluate. Am I going to get like a Coke or water or juice or tea or what? Right? You evaluate those different items being offered. And then there's a moment of purchase decision. Okay? But we don't stop here after you made the purchase. Yeah? There is also the post-purchase experience. You may regret it, right? There is a buyer's remorse, right? You may regret it. You may feel excited. You want to share with others. You are happy with your selection, or you could be unhappy. Right? So there is the post-purchase experience. Okay? On your journey, before you initiated a search, there are actually some other things going on, right? Not just before you initiate a search, start a search. There is what we call a loyalty loop. You may purchase newer version of a previous product. You may have a iPhone, say, I think of iPhone 17 now, this latest one, and you may probably had like iPhone 11. Yeah, iPhone 11 you used a few years, now it's time to upgrade. You want to go to iPhone, but the iPhone 17 instead of to replace the old iPhone 11. Okay? Not only which product, but where to buy also is into consideration. The price and the availability is also important to consider. Okay? And the merchant might influence more than product. Okay? Merchants may influence more than just product. Yeah. Your loyalty to a dealer or a retailer, yeah, either on cars or home improvement or the handyman you used, or maybe you use that store or go to that store because you have store credit cards or you have loyalty programs. And maybe you want to buy air ticket from certain airlines because you have a frequent flyers program with that. You want to accumulate. You want to save your mileage onto just that one airline, so you can accumulate your points faster. Okay, so there are other things you consider before you initiate a search. Okay? Need recognition. Let's go look at all the stages, different stages, right? Need recognition, and that need recognition starts the purchase process. Okay, you have a need. Consumers may have the needs that are currently not satisfied, or they have wants, the specific product to satisfy. Okay, they're not the same. Needs and wants are not the same. I'll give you an example. You may need a car. Need a car to go to work and do your commute, right? But you don't need a Lamborghini or a supercar, super race car to take you from home to work, right? You can have a little Toyota Tercel or Toyota Corolla. Okay, a car, basically a car is what you need. A race car, a sporty, sporty car. Race car is what you want. Okay, they're not the same. Okay. To segment markets, we need to understand the needs and wants of the consumers, right? How do marketers trigger recognition? Sometimes the marketers will try to remind or to inform or to trigger, inform potential customers, and they want to trigger their need recognition. Have you seen an advertisement where that says, hey, maybe it's time for you to consider this or that, or maybe your old things, is not working well, you probably need to upgrade. And so marketers triggers need recognition in their marketing activity. Okay? As the initial consideration set, the initial consideration says, right? That initial says are the brands or the products or business companies that appear in your mind, initially, right? That translate your needs into specific products and or brands. Okay? You're going to evaluate the portfolio's ability to satisfy the customer's needs. Okay? And you want to keep your product in consumers' evoked set. That's what the marketers want to do. Keep your product in consumers' evoked set. That is, as soon as they have a need, they think of your brand. Yeah, you can make that happen. That's good. You're on your way to be successful. Okay. And you need also know what are the consumers' choice criteria. What's their choice criteria? How do they evaluate, choose, right? How important are specific attributes? Like we all have different attributes to evaluate. And for example, when I buy a car, my next car, consider to buy my next car. Brand name is important to me, but I think quality or dependability is of more importance to me. I just need a car that's well-made, quality. Yeah, no free, no trouble, fewer trouble. Yeah, fewer trouble. It doesn't die on the road. Right? I have no interest in the color of the car or the horsepower or acceleration, things like that. And I don't care. What is important to me in my car selection, brand name does convey quality in certain ways. Dependability is my biggest one. Okay, so that's my choice criteria. Marketers need to know consumers' choice criteria. Okay. The next stage in consumers' decision journey, is active evaluation. We know the brand, you have a need, you have a few brands in your mind, in your evoked set, you need to evaluate, right? And the consumers, remember, in evaluation, consumers trust personal sources of information and other consumer reviews. I'm talking about honest, truthful reviews, right? Other personally sourced information. That is the word of mouth. We know that the word of mouth is the best way to get your message to someone because it's reliable, it's trustworthy. People believe that, and people believe that. Right? It's more than firm provided information. Consumers do not trust, information provided by the company, but they trust their friends and families more. Okay? As you can see. Okay? Also, time and effort expended on the evaluation vary. Right? The risk involved in the purchase. If this purchase is highly risky, you spend a lot of money on that. So you need to take more time and effort to evaluate. Right? If this is just like a can of soda or a pack of bubble gum, it's only maybe 50 cents or $1 or $2. Not much risk involved. Then you can make the decision right away. Also, your experience with product category is important. Affects your time and effort in your evaluation, because some people are just very experienced with cars. They know cars. They know the cars inside out. They recognize all the brands. Versus someone who doesn't care too much about cars. Okay? The experience with product category. The actual cost of search and the product. Right? The actual cost of the search. Right? Consumers narrow the potential evoked set. They want to narrow the evoked set. You may have initially you may have 5 brands of cars, 5 makes of cars to consider. You want to narrow that down to maybe just 1 or 2. Right? So consumers narrow their potential set. To change the set, marketers must capture attention. As a marketer, you need to catch their attention, capture their attention, and help them to narrow the evoked set, to only a couple of brands, including yours. That's the key of marketing here. Okay. Next stage is moment of purchase. Even if a product is selected for purchase, several factors can change the decision. So things still can change. Okay. If say the product is not in stock, out of stock, they don't have it anymore. You had that in mind. You look for that. You go to the store. You go to the dealer. They say, "Oh, we don't have it." Too bad, and then it's not going to purchase, of course, right? Or it does not qualify for financing. Sometimes it's especially large, expensive items. You may need financing. You need financing, and the seller may not offer financing on that car, on that kind of product. Okay, or something goes wrong in the purchase experience. Anything could go wrong, right? Or you may just you got sick, right? You got sick, you lost a job. There's a hurricane, national disaster coming, whatever. or everything could derail your purchase at the moment of purchase. Okay? As marketer, you must assure product availability and increase the probability of purchase. Keep it in stock. Okay? Never let out of stock situation happen to you. Okay? The final stage is post-purchase experience, as I said. Post-purchase. After it's purchased, it's used, consumers still think about the product, right? Evaluate. How connected is the buying process and the long-term customer relationship is related to this purchase experience, right? Marketers should monitor consumers' feedback on product's performance to assess if it is met or exceeded expectations. I think many companies are doing that. They send you a follow-up email saying, hey, you just purchased, thank you for your purchase. How do you like it? Yeah. Maybe you want to give us a good remark, a good review on that, or trying to avoid a bad review. Or if you're unhappy with the product, for whatever reason, we may want to replace for you, fix for you, or to give a refund. There'll be a lot of kind of feedbacks. Yeah, as marketer, you need to pay attention to that. Okay, customer may be delighted, may be dissatisfied, or satisfied, or may have a cognitive dissonance. Right? Cognitive dissonance. You're not thinking on the same tune or same way. Okay, that's post-purchase experience. Okay? So to summarize, this is the consumer purchase decision journey. Okay, consumer purchase journey. It starts from the left here. Number one, consumer considers an initial set of brands based on brand perceptions and exposure to recent touch points. Okay, right? And they have a initial consideration set, okay, in their mind. Okay, there's a trigger, of course, trigger of needs. Right? And the next step, active evaluation. Right? Consumers add or subtract brands as they evaluate what they want. Right? To get the information, go shopping. Right? They may consider the loyalty loop. Right? Loyalty loop, and then make the purchase. Okay? After this active evaluation goes to number 3. The consumer selects a brand at the moment of purchase. Right? And after that, there is a post-purchase experience. Right? You may get ongoing exposure to the product. Right? After purchasing of this product or service, consumer builds expectations based on experience to inform the next decision journey. So we learn something, we become more experienced, we become a more savvy shopper on this kind of item, this kind of things. But for most people, of course, you don't buy a car every year unless you're super rich, right? Most people will buy a car maybe every 3, 4, 5 years, I guess. Some even longer, maybe 9 years. Yeah. But many people buy houses every. I think it's 8 Americans, I believe, they change jobs on average. Change job every 7, 8 years. So maybe every 7, 8 years, 10 years, you're going to buy another house. Maybe you can make more money, you buy a bigger house. Or after you approach retirement age, you want to buy a smaller house when the kids are gone. Okay? So that's the consumer purchase decision journey. Okay? Let's take a quick quiz, pop quiz. Okay? At what point in the consumer purchase decision journey does consumer narrow their potential choices to an evoked set of suitable alternatives that may meet their needs? Is it a needs recognition trigger? Is it initial consideration set? Is it active evaluation or moment of purchase? I want you to pause think for a minute, read the question again, think for a minute or two, and make your choice. Okay. This is a chapter 5, which is also the subject of your exam 3. Okay. Exam 3 will only cover one chapter, chapter 5. Okay. Time's up. It is active evaluation. Right? The answer is active evaluation. During active evaluation, consumers evaluate and reevaluate the initial set of products for brands until the list of potential product choices has been narrowed to only a few, or maybe a brand that can meet their needs. Right? This list is suitable alternative is called the evoked set, and leads to the ultimate decision choice at the moment of purchase, the next stage. Okay? Factors that affect the consumer purchase decision journey. And their decision-making complexity. Okay? And to come up with final decision, is it difficult to make a decision, involving many factors, issues, or just an easy decision to make? This often ties to the quantitative, the dollar amount, value of the product. Right? Individual differences. Some people they just buy something very quick decision, quickly choose someone. Some procrastinators, they just take a lot of time, much longer time, to think over, to think through. They procrastinate, and that could happen. Individual differences. Social influences. Your friends, your families, your people around you, even people in stores may affect you. Okay? And there are then the situational influences. God knows what happens. Right? Many things could happen to affect your decision. Okay? So the complexity, as to decision-making complexity, if it's a highly complex decisions, we need to take longer time to think, right? Also, if there's a high personal risk or high social risk or high financial risk, if it's a very expensive item, there's a high financial risk that the product doesn't perform. There's a social risk. What is kind of social risk? You may buy something and your friends may see that and say, how could you pick something like that, right? Or they say, wow, that's great. That's great stuff that I want that too. Well, I'll never want something like that. So it looks ugly. It looks not stylish. There are all kinds of social input to you. Okay, there's risk there, and also it's coupled with a lack of experience. And you have experience in this kind of type of product or not. Okay? And you may spend excessive time, effort, and money to ensure right decision. And right decision, you may spend a lot of time and money to make sure you got it right. Okay. And if it's low complexity purchase decision or low involvement decision, it's a routine decision. It's probably easier for us to make a decision. Okay. Marketers provide information to help in the process, to help consumer make the final purchase decisions. Okay? And also we need to be aware of what past buyers are saying. That's the feedback from past customers. Okay? Decision-making complexity. Okay? The individual differences affect how you make decision. Right? Your age, again, your life cycle stage, right? Your occupation, your social-economic status affect marketing strategies and tactics. Okay? Your perceptions, people's perceptions, motives, interests, attitudes, opinions, or lifestyle, all are very more complicated, affect your decision-making process. Okay? And when you market to different generations, to Gen Z, or millennials, baby boomers, or silent generations, when you consider different strategies. Social influences. The culture you are in, affect your decision making. And you can see that we are in American culture. American culture. Within American culture, there is also a subculture. Maybe we're in the South. We can even say the culture of the South. Or maybe you are Northeasterners in New York, D.C. area, or Westerners, Western, in the Pacific Coast, California. They're all different cultures. Social class, socio-economic class. Okay? Reference group you belong to. They are the group of people or social groups that you aspire to be in or aspire to join. They are the group that you are associated with, that you are currently belonging in that group. That's your associate group, right? There are also groups that you want to get rid of, or you want to leave. You want to leave that behind. You never want to be associated again with that group, right? So there are different types of reference groups and families, of course, right? That all influence your purchase decision. Family is a key influencer. It only reflect your parents' influence, right? Reference groups and opinion leaders impact buying decisions. Reference group you belong to, you aspire to join, and also opinion leaders. You consider this guy or this person is the expert in cars. You want to listen to that person's opinion. Right? If this person is expert, in home improvement, you want to consult with that person, right? Marketers may seek out opinion leaders, such as those social media influencers, to speak about their products. And good idea to hire them, all right? To pay them to say something nice. Okay. Software companies often release beta versions of the software to get users' input. Okay. They say, hey, this is not the formal launch. It's just a beta version. Go use it and tell us how you feel. Okay. Seen that? Okay. The social influences. Situational influences on purchase decision. Physical and spatial. Yeah. The atmosphere around the purchasing situation, how crowded the store is, the store layout of the store, right? And the design of the store. Those affect your decision making. Time, right? Time. Are you short on time, or you're in an urgent situations? You have to leave in 5 minutes. Or convenience factor. Convenience factor. Okay. Social and interpersonal, group shoppings, right? Kids tend to go shop together as a group. As a group. Yeah. And the salesperson's influence. And even other customers. Other customers may say, hey, I just bought this one. It's good. It fits you. You may want to have that too. Okay. And purchase task or product usage. There are special occasions and buying a gift for others. Those kind of like a product use or purchase task that affect how you buy it. Okay? Consumer dispositional, like stress, anxiety, fear, fatigue, emotions, environmental level, and the mood. Definitely mood. Yeah. A lot of people go shopping when they are in bad mood. In bad mood. That's probably not a good idea to go out shopping. But it does happen. Okay? It does happen. Situational influences. Now let's talk about the buyer behavior in business market. Buyer behavior in business market. Okay? Business market. Business buyers, their behaviors are similar to consumer buying, but also different in other aspects, right? The similarities of business buying with consumer buying and similar stages in the buying process. There's the need identification, search for information, product evaluation, different decisions, and post-purchase. Yeah, pretty much the same. The focus is on customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is business to business customers, right? Customer satisfaction. But also the business buying behavior is different. The differences from consumer behavior. Products are not bought for personal use, right? Not to B2C, right? It's B2B. And also buying products for use is in operations, oftentimes in reselling or in the production of another product, things like that. So raw materials for production or office supplies are used in the operations of manufacturing something else, another product. There's differences, similarities and differences. Okay? There are 4 types of business markets. Okay, the 4 types of business market. First is commercial, buying raw materials for finished goods. Raw materials for finished goods. That's commercial market. There's a reseller market. The buy produces finished goods and sell at a profit. Resell them. Right? These are the wholesalers, retailers, or brokers. Okay? Brokers. Then the third type is the government market. Governments they buy a lot, right? Federal government, state government, local government, county government, city government. They purchase to provide services to citizens at different levels. They might think that buy product or services for education, for fire department, for road paving, for police and others, schools. Yeah. Then there is the institutional buyer market, institutional business market, like a university, hospitals, schools, right? They're not commercial, non-commercial churches, schools, hospitals, etc. Business market, they buy a lot too. Okay? So the unique characteristics of business markets is that they have a buying center. Normally, company may have a purchasing department, purchasing agent, purchasing manager. So they actually have a buying center. That is, there are several people involved, not just one person making the final decision. There's the influencer, there's the user, there's the gatekeeper, there's a decision maker, there's a financier, all kind of people involved, right? And there are the issue hard and soft costs involved in business market. I'll talk to you about that in a second. And reciprocity is often found in business market. Mutual dependence also found. Okay? For consumer market, we don't depend on those the businesses, right? Business don't depend on us. For B2B markets, B2B transactions, the buyer and seller may have mutual dependence. Okay? Depend on each other for their future business. The value outcomes comes over experience. Okay? That's the second. Okay? The buying center. There's a group within the company responsible for making purchase decisions. Okay? They are the economic buyers responsible for achieving firm's objectives. There are technical buyers, narrow the number of product options with the economic buyer within budget. Okay? And there are the end user buyers. They play a greater role in buying process for more technologically advanced products. Okay? And the different type of groups within the buying center. Okay? Hard costs versus soft costs. Right? Hard costs involved in purchasing are like the price of goods and the shipping and handling costs. Those are hard costs. right? Hard costs, right? But there are also hidden soft costs, right? Downtime. If you don't have the machine available now, with downtime, there's a cost to your business, right? There's an opportunity cost. If you buy this from this brand, you may forego opportunities of using another manufacturer's brands, right? And there's human resource cost, okay? New systems and software require installation, implementation, and training that take time too and take money and cost money. So those are soft costs, okay? Reciprocity. When businesses enter into exchange relationship to mutually benefit both parties, they often engage in reciprocal buying. You buy from me, I buy from you. Okay? You buy from me, I buy from you. Of course, different things. Okay? A good example is Volkswagen. Volkswagen makes its EV platform available to other manufacturers, no R&D requirement, allowing for expanded revenue from R&D. Okay? The reciprocity. Okay? Mutual dependence, as I said, suppliers' closure or limited production can be devastating. They depend on each other. So if the supplier is closed or their production is limited, that could have a big problem on their buyers. Right? There may be limited or sole sourced materials sold. Okay? Sole sourced materials, you have a monopoly on that. Okay? Customers could be lost due to shortage or sellouts. Yeah? The shortage or the sellout, customer could be lost. Okay? Supplier replacement can take months or to even years to happen. It's not like we don't get from this store, we go to another store. We can't get the brand, we go to another brand. Right? For businesses to find a replacement supplier takes much longer time, even years to do. Okay. The business buying decision or buying process very similar. Okay? There's a problem recognition first. Recognize there's a need for something, and then they develop specific specifications. Like if this university wants to buy, a bunch of maybe 500 computers, they set a detailed specification out before sending out, proposal for bid. Right? They identify vendors and make sure they are qualified, and they solicit proposals or bids. Right? You may use bidding or use proposals. Right? And then you select your vendors, open your bids, right? And process the orders, right? And they do performance review. That's just like a post-purchase behavior, right? Vendor performance review to determine if they want to continue to use that vendor or not. Okay? All right, next, let's talk about the market segmentation. Market segmentation, right? What is market segmentation? Basically, it is dividing the total market for product into homogeneous segments or groups. Okay? Within the segment or within the group, the members will have similar needs and likes, desires, needs, wants, or preferences. In other words, it's a similar, homogeneous group, right? Homogeneous group. The big decision is a big decision, for companies to decide whether to segment at all. Some businesses may not want to segment. They want to treat just one market for all their offerings. Okay, some heavily do segmentation. So most firms, most companies opt to target one or more segment. Yeah, one more, not all the segments. Okay. Traditional market segmentation approaches include mass marketing, differentiated marketing, and niche marketing. Mass marketing, differentiated marketing, and niche marketing. Okay, Let's look at every one of them, each and every one. Mass marketing, basically no segmentation. Treat the whole market the same. Whole market the same, right? Assumes all customers in the market have similar needs and wants. Yeah, only one single marketing program is needed because you only have one one market, whole market, the same thing, right? So production efficiency, you can achieve production efficiency. You produce the same thing, large quantity, and low marketing cost. One program, yeah, one program, but it's risky. Mass marketing is risky as competition response, right? It's risky. Okay, that's mass marketing. Differentiated marketing. You divide the market into groups of customers with homogeneous needs, right? And you develop a marketing program to appeal to these specific segments. That's differentiated marketing, right? And there you can use a multi-segment approach, offer differentiated variety of products that appeal to different segments. Like Arm & Hammer, they use that, okay? And or you can concentrate on certain market, focus on a single market segment with one product line. Now, Armor All does that, okay? Then there's a niche marketing. You find a niche, right? You focus on the niche, right? You focus your marketing effort on one small, well-defined market segment, okay? And you find their unique and specific set of needs, okay? And you offer, you find the attractive niche that has grown and has profit potential, yeah. But hopefully it does not attract competitors. You have the niche, right? It's a highly desirable, specialized option, yeah, for certain companies. Okay, that's niche marketing. Right? All right, let's look at how companies are really doing. Right, opportunities in multicultural marketing. The U.S. population is becoming more racially and ethnically diverse, and firms will have a hard time reaching a mass audience of U.S. consumers using a one-size-fits-all marketing approach that doesn't apply anymore. Multicultural spending is low. Okay? Spending is low. Targeting specific minority groups has become increasingly nuanced. And it's important to consider the best way to reach each audience and invest in relevant media outlets. Okay? Multicultural marketing. Okay? Let's talk about the individualized segmentation approach. This is the newest thing. It's emerging. It's gaining popularity. Right? First in individualized segmentation is called one-to-one marketing. One-to-one marketing. The other one is mass customization. We know mass production, right? But this is a mass customization. Okay? And then there is the permission marketing. Let's look at them. Okay, one-to-one marketing. Basically, you create a wholly unique product or marketing program for each customer in the target market. Okay? This is very commonly used in luxury and custom products, like luxury homes, yachts, all those kind of things. Right? Oracle and SAP, they create customized solutions for their customers. They are doing that. Right? Service companies customize their marketing programs to lawyers, to doctors, and specialists, experts. Yeah. Okay. Spotify. Some of you may be using Spotify. Spotify can customize. Okay, you can have your Discover Weekly. Yeah, you Discover Weekly. Called Discover Weekly. So that's your own playlist just for you, based on your preferences and choices. Okay. Next one is mass customization. This was not available before, but nowadays with computer, super fast computers and the internet, it is more is possible. So in mass customization, you make a unique products and solutions to individual customers, but on a mass scale. Kind of like a interesting argument here, but yeah, you make a solution, offer solution, unique product to individual, but on my mass scale. Right? The customer can choose from a variety of options. Okay? Neighborhoods based on basic plans with options like a Dell computer, and they market to mass market. Okay? But every computer is customized, yeah, to just your need. Okay? Build a better workshop is like that too. Okay? Nike offers that. Nike on their website, they offer you customize your ride, right? Nike Luna Glide, yeah. You can customize, you can choose your color, your unique features, things like that, right? Of your sports shoes. Permission marketing, giving marketers permission to target you. Basically, you're interested in that, right? You're given permission to target you. You know, you have they use an opt-in email list. It's the very most common way. You're opting to receive email from them. Since you're already showing an interest in the product, right? So the marketers can use permission marketing to precisely target your market. Yeah, target marketing, because you already know those people who are interested in your product, want your product, okay for you, accept you, let you to give you permission to contact them. So, EasyDog, yeah. EasyDog, this one, allowing you to opt in, to sign up for their mailing list, to give you, whatever you need for your dog. Okay? Criteria for successful segmentation. What makes a segmentation successful? Right? If you can make your segmentation identifiable and measurable, that's successful. Right? That could be successful. You can identify the segment and measure that. Right? And second, it has to be substantial. Yeah, it can't be just too few because consumers won't make money. It has to be substantial to be worth your time and to target. Okay? And they have to be responsive. Yeah, you should engage in interaction with you, right? Responsive to your advertising and communication and promotional messages. Right? They have to be accessible. You need to be able to reach them. Right? You reach them, so accessible to you, and it's viable and sustainable. So these are the criteria for a successful segmentation market. Okay. Quiz 2, another quick pop quiz. In which individualized segmentation approach does the consumer choose to become part of firm's marketing program? In which individualized segmentation approach does the consumer choose to become part of firm's marketing segment? Is it one-to-one marketing, mass customization, permission marketing, or niche marketing? Right. Pause for a minute, think about it, and then continue. All right, let's continue. Okay, what is the answer? Permission marketing. Okay, permission marketing, as you can see. Okay. All right. Let's talk about how to identify market segments. How do you identify those segments, market segments, right? There are different ways to segment consumer markets. For consumer markets, we can use behavioral segmentation according to their consumer behavior, consumption behavior. We can use demographic to segment. Demographic, gender, age, income, social status. Okay? We can use the psychographic to segment. Psychographic, the psychological feature or characteristics. Of course, we can use geographic. That's the easiest one, geographic segmentation. These are the different ways to segment consumer market. Okay? First, let's look at the behavioral segmentation. Consumer behavior or product usage are the basis for behavior segmentation. Maybe this person love chocolate, the heavy or smoking, not good idea, right? Smoking, heavy smokers, medium smokers, or light smokers, or beer drinkers, or wine drinkers, heavy, medium, or light, right? That's behavior and product usage. Why people buy and use product? Why people buy and use product? That's a behavior aspect. Okay? This is a powerful but difficult to execute. Powerful and difficult to execute. The key here in behavior segmentation is to understand the basic needs and benefits sought by different groups. So that's why it's hard, difficult to execute. Okay? You may combine this with other segmentation variables, the behavior, like heavy user, light user, together with other ways to segment. Next is demographic. Demographic segmentation uses gender, age, income, education, all those descriptors. Okay? This is the most widely used way to segment. Yeah. The female market, the male market consumers, right? The old ones, young ones, middle-aged ones, the high income versus middle income versus low income groups. Education, high school or lower, or college educated, or professional degrees. Okay. Data is widely available and easy to measure, but the demographic segmentation does not help in understanding consumers' motives. Right? We just know maybe men buy this more than women, but we don't know why that's the case. Well, we just only know that young people are the main buyers of this product than older people or middle-aged people. Now, why is that? We don't know. Okay? How you think, feel, and what you value are things that we don't truly understand with just demographic. Okay? Next one is how you're trying to find out or identify consumers' the thinking, their thought process, right? Their emotions. And we use psychographic segmentation. Basically, is the state of mind, state of your consumer's mind is what we use to segment. Right? That involves the motives. Why do they want to buy, right? Purchase this? Their attitude towards your product or company, their opinions, their values. What do they think is most valuable or less valuable, more valuable or less valuable? The lifestyles of the person, right? Their interests, their personality traits, right? Traits. These are all the things that we want to use. We can use to segment market using psychographic factors. But this is much, much more difficult to measure and assess. Okay? There is a famous framework of measuring your psychographic type called the VALS framework. VALS, V-A-L-S, VALS framework. There's a link there. You can link and check out yourself. They categorize people using into 8 psychographic segmentation. Okay? There are the innovators, there are the thinkers, achievers, experiencers, believers, strivers, makers, and survivors. Right? Innovators seek new product, try new ones. Thinkers evaluate a lot. Right? Achievers are maybe successful people. They have their views of the world. Experiencers like to experience new products, right? Experience value to other people's experience. Believers, easy to believe, right? Strivers, working hard. Makers, makers, and survivors. Survivors are struggling people. People are struggling, basically. I think I did my vows for. I think I'm between thinkers and achievers. So okay, I want you to do yours one for yourself, just to find out, just to know your type and see if you agree. Okay, so this is your homework activity. It's not graded, but you can feel free to use that. Go to Val's website here, strategicbusinessinsights.com, Val's. And you participate, take the survey. Yeah, take the survey. It's free. Yeah. And look at the type you belong to, and also the description about type. For example, if you're an achiever or thinkers, and see if you agree with that. You agree, why not you agree or disagree with their assessment of your psychographic type. And I want you to share this with your, not class, but with your group, with your discussions. It will be a good topic to focus on, okay? Wow, psychographic. Geographic, right? It has everything to do with the weather, the culture, and access, geodemographic. Look at the neighborhood profiles based on demographic, geographic, and lifestyle variables. Okay, called geodemographic. Okay, and Prism is a consulting company, uses a geoclustering tool to break down the neighborhoods into 68 different demographic and behavioral clusters, like urban, suburban, countryside, urban achievers. So all kind of different, very detailed. You can imagine 68 different type of neighborhoods. That's what they're analyzing. Okay. Business market. How do you segment business markets? Right? You can segment business market based on buyer requirement, size of business, large, small, or geographic location, East Coast, Middle East, South, product usage, heavy, light users, benefits assault, the buying process, personal characteristics, risk tolerance level, risk tolerance, and the relationship intensity. Yeah, how long you've been with the company, how strong is your relationship with that? You use that, to classify like loyal, good customers or occasional customers. Yeah, you can use those. Okay. Now let's talk about target marketing strategy. Target marketing strategies. And how do you target different market? There are different strategies, right? There are 5 different strategies. First one is single segment targeting. Next one, selective targeting. Okay, the third marketing strategy, targeting strategy, is a mass market targeting strategy. Right. Then you can have a product specialization strategy, and then market specialization strategy. Let's look at each and every one. Okay, the 5 different targeting strategies. Okay, first one, single segment targeting. Okay, you can see on the right, there's just one market, one product P1, M2, right? They use one product category, just one type of product category, one type of product, focusing on just one market, M2. Okay, that's single segment. The capabilities are tied to the needs of specific target market. In this case, M2. You need to have a full, complete understanding of customers' needs, preferences, and lifestyles. You focus on quality and customer satisfaction. Make them happy. Okay? Make them happy. One product, one group of customers, you make them happy. Example companies like Sierra Nevada brewing companies, Porsche, Ray-Ban glasses, right? They're only one product, one market to focus on. Single segment targeting. Okay? The next one is called selective targeting. Select targeting. You should have multiple capabilities in many product categories. In this case, you have P1, P2, P3. You have all of them, and then you market to different market segments. Markets, M1, M2, M3. You sell P1 to M1, right? You sell P3 to M2. You sell P2 to M3. Different product for different market, right? Focus on the most attractive market segments because those markets are the most attractive, profitable to you. So you can use that to diversify your risk. Okay? The Ohio company Procter & Gamble, the famous American manufacturer, Procter & Gamble, they use this as selective targeting. They have a different product for different market. If you look at their detergent, personal hygiene product, food product, you name it, everything. They have different brands, tons of brands, right? A lot of brands for every market. Okay, selective targeting. Mass market targeting. Mass market targeting. Basically, you develop multiple marketing programs to serve all customers' needs simultaneously. Right? It's like all different product categories serving all the markets, like Frito-Lay's, Frito-Lay chips, potato chips and other, snack food. They sell hundreds of snack foods. There is one for every market. There is one type of product for every market. Okay? That's mass market targeting. Then there's a product specialization. One product category leverage across different markets. Right? Just one product, P1 to different market. M1, M2, M3. Right? You do research and development is integral to your marketing success. Example of that is 3M. 3M, the company has this Littmann stethoscope, like this picture here. Okay? They have one for cardiologists, human, for pediatrics, for little human, and one for pet. Okay? Though the products are similar in a certain way, in principle, in design, but different design, different features to serve different type of market. Okay? That's a product specialization. Then there is a market specialization. That is, you have to have extensive knowledge and expertise in one market, right? Know very well the one market, and you can offer customized marketing solutions. Just M2. You have different type of product, P1, P2, and P3 for different markets. Different kinds of products for serving the same market, right? And there's a customized marketing solutions, right? Follett Corporation, Follett's bookstore on campus, right? The campus bookstores and educational products are like that. They focus on just say, campus, college, universities, right? All of their textbooks and educational products, branded, T-shirts, mugs, things like that. Okay? So that's a market specialization. Okay, in summary, in this lesson, we have learned to understand the buyer behavior in consumer markets, understand buyer behavior in business markets. Okay? Explain market segmentation, different approaches of market segmentation, and how to identify market segments and target marketing strategies. Okay, I think that's all I have for this chapter. This is chapter 5, and you're going to have exam 3 focusing exclusively on chapter 5, right, coming out. Thank you. I'll talk to you. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.